Long, long time ago, I was supposed to venture off into Washington, D.C. The option came up for a trip, and I debated on whether or not I was going to go through with it, but it was originally going to be with my high school band. Yeah, so again, I know many of you are thinking, like, Corbin, were you a band geek? And then you're probably thinking of the American Pie line, where one time at band camp, I was not a flute player, and I didn't put that anywhere, but I was actually a baritone, and the reason why is I wanted to play something in the bass clef. I didn't want to be a tuba because I felt tuba might be kind of boring, and I wanted to do something. We had a marching band too, so I wanted to play something that would be decent, I guess, to march with. And yeah, so that was the instrument that I went with, was a baritone, and also at the time we didn't really have too many of them, baritone euphonium players. It was my junior year of high school, and the trip was always offered to go to Washington, D.C., and you'd play a couple. I think it was there for 4 days or something like that. You'd take a bus out there, and then you get to go and play on steps and everything. And like and here's the main reason. It's not that I didn't want to go to Washington, D.C., but I wanted to go when it would be on my own terms, and that was the big part of it. So when I looked at the itinerary and kind of looked at the idea, I didn't think, for if I was to spend a trip in Washington, D.C., that it would be exactly covering all the bases that I wanted to do. So again, I remember talking with my mom about it and going, I would love to do this, and this was going to be something where maybe when you graduate high school or college, you can plan a trip, or maybe 21st birthday, you can plan a trip, or whatever it is, to go out there. And of course, here we are. This would have been, so what would this have been? 2002, 2001, one of those, that would have been my junior year. And here we are over 20 years later, and I'm finally making it happen. So I'm finally getting to go out to Washington, D.C., and we plan on doing a lot of things. It's actually with one of my best friends from high school, and we are going to go and get to see the monuments and check out food places and all that stuff. So that was the plan. That was the ideal. So I was actually, again, probably by the time you see this, I will have already taken that trip, obviously. I will just have gotten back. But I'm pretty positive I can admit that this was definitely worth it in the best way that I'd be able to go. But for those of you who are like, how were you supposed to go out there before? And while all the answers seem plausible, it would actually be, I was in band. And so that was the option that came up.